everyone, it's Cassie and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my February wrap up, which should be a short one because February was not my month for reading. I don't know why, but I barely read in February, which is fine, I guess. I had a goal in mind for me to read 5 books a month this year. So that was like a huge goal of mine, but we did not hit that this month. So hopefully I'll kind of make up for it. Let's just get into the wrap up. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and give it a big thumbs up. Both those would mean the absolute world to me. My Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, and Amazon wishlist will be linked in the description box below if you're interested in checking any of those out. Let's just get into the wrap up. So in January, I read the first book to this duology. So I really wanted to get the second one onto my TBR for February, and I did, and it was the first book I read because I was so excited to see how this story continued and ended, and that is The Good Girls by Sarah Shepard. The first book is The Perfectionist. This was for the prompt book in a series, by the way. I have very conflicting opinions on this book. It was a little slower, a little more boring than the first one, but I was really enjoying it. And then the twist and like the revelation came, and that's where I'm like conflicted because I don't necessarily like this plot device, I guess. I'll just say that, and you could look it up if you want to know what it is. But I was like shocked by it. Like I didn't see it coming. There was that because I was surprised, but then it also got brought down because I don't necessarily agree with what they did. So yeah, I'm really not sure how I feel about this. So I think I have it like a 3. But other than that, I quite enjoyed this book. Again, it was a little slower than the first one, but I really enjoyed the first one, and a little less with the actual case in question is happening. I guess I didn't tell you what it's about. It follows 5 girls from Beacon Heights. First book, they had described how they would murder this one specific person, and this person ends up dead, and now they have to find out who did it because they described this murder and then somehow it was actually brought into fruition. Is that the right word? That's what the main plot is about. These 5 girls that aren't friends before but kind of become friends. And some of the stories that I wanted to hear more about, Caitlin, I think it's Caitlin, the one that plays soccer, I really liked her story, and in this book especially, she really got the least amount of page time, and I really liked her story in the first one as well, so I could have used more of her and her story because there's like kind of a love triangle, but not overly. I'm disappointed with the plot devices, I guess. So about a 3-star. Next book I read was The Beautiful by Renee Audier. So I didn't read a lot of books, but I read the one book that I've been putting off the most. I read it for the prompt more than 400 pages. But if you don't know what this is about, it's about Celine, and she came from France to New Orleans to have a new life because something happened in Paris. And then soon she's caught up in this kind of a mystery type of thing where girls are getting murdered. And there's the Court of Lions, who are like this mysterious, interesting group who she kind of finds herself in. The murderer has Celine in his sights. Yeah, honestly, the back makes it sound more interesting than it is. Sorry, I hate to say it, but I was like ready for the go, go, go. Interesting stuff happening all the time. Revelations happening all the time. No. Just straight up no, that did not happen. It was super slow. Like this book could have at least been 100 pages less than it is. 100%. When it was interesting, it was interesting. It just wasn't interesting for a lot of the time. I did like the slow burn little romance in here, and I like that there's like a mystery. Like it's supposed to be like an age-old feud between the darkest creatures of the night. So like she doesn't know what is happening. That was kind of interesting, but like they barely talked about it. It was like this small part of it. It was all just hinting towards it, and I don't know, I just didn't really like that. I also didn't even know what some of the words in this were, because it is set in like 1872, so like some of the descriptions of what people are wearing, no clue. I'm probably going to read the next one, but I'm not in any hurry to do so. I was disappointed by this book. It wasn't bad by any means, but it wasn't like great. It wasn't everything I was hoping for. It didn't really do that much for me anyway, now that I finally read it. So I gave it a 3-star. Kind of disappointing. Again, it's not bad, but this was very average and pretty slow. So if you don't like slow books, just avoid this because this is slow. And like, here's the thing. Some people say this is a vampire book, and the front says, it's true, vampires are back and they're more seductive than ever. Very minuscule part where you actually are like 100% sure that that's what's happening, because I kept being like, that's what's happening, right? Like, I know it was supposed to be mysterious, but it was like too mysterious that like I didn't even know if it, like, that means a vampire, right? Like I was very confused in lots of parts. So yeah, I wouldn't say like run out and get this, like you need this now. Oh yeah, anyways, some people say it's vampires. I don't think to call this a vampire book is fair, because like that's so small. Like technically, the vampires are technically a main part of the story. If you've read it, you know what I mean, but like, I don't know, I don't think you can call this a vampire book in my head. Like it had good parts, like the romance, I guess was my favorite part. The next book, and the last book that I read in February, yes, I only read 3 books, which 3 books is better than nothing, but I wanted to read more, so that's all. But I read Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, finally, and this was the best book I read this month, easily. This follows Alex, who is the first female president's son, and he has this hate. He really does not like Prince Henry from the UK, and they have this little feud, and it all comes crashing down when there's a scandal between the two, and enough to get media attention, and so each PR team puts them together and says, pretend to be friends so we have good PR. They do that, and then they slowly become friends. Not really slowly, it's not a slow burn whatsoever. So they hate each other, they're friends for like a tiny bit, and then the romance ensues. It was really, really cute. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, the friendship, the enemies to friendship to romance is a really short part of this book. Like I don't even think, I'd say maybe a quarter, maybe a third. I'm not exactly sure. So I guess it could have been a friendship for a little bit longer. I could understand why people would want that. And I was kind of confused. I was like, what the heck is gonna happen for so much more of the book? But it was still really enjoyable. My main issue with this book, and a lot of people say this, and it's 100% true, the chapters are way too freaking long. This book is just under 420 pages. I think it's 418. There's only 15 chapters in here. That's a no for me. Every chapter is like 20 or like 30 plus pages. I cannot do that. I'm a person that I don't really like stopping in the middle of a chapter, but this book I had to. If a chapter is 30 plus pages, instantly no.
I don't care.
Yeah, immediately no. Immediately no. Immediately no. Like instantly I was like, yeah, no. That was my thought. But I love you, and your value stays the same. You're still valuable.
And it's not like they needed to be that long. They were broken up into parts anyway, so they could have just put more chapters in here. Like, it just didn't make sense to why there weren't more chapters. So yeah, that was like a big issue for me. I think that also kind of slowed me down because I don't like stopping in the middle of a chapter, but I just had to sometimes. But I did give this 5 stars because the story was really good, super cute, had lots of different conversations in it, and the friendship in this was really cute as well, of all the other side characters. And I actually thought like the political aspects of this that there were actually really interesting as well, because it wasn't too much. It was like enough, a good amount. I wasn't mad about it. I'm glad I finally read this, and I'm glad it's 100% worth the hype, because I wasn't so sure. I was just a little scared, but definitely would recommend. And I know Casey McQuiston's second book, One Last Stop, isn't getting as great reviews, but I do own it, so I will read it eventually. I'm not like super excited about it because I know it won't live up to this, or most people don't think it lives up to this. Maybe I will, but I don't know. I think this was just a fun romance. It probably could have been shorter, but it didn't overly feel like it needed to be, whereas compared to The Beautiful, where The Beautiful felt like it needs to be shorter, because at least stuff was happening in this. So, like I said, not a super amazing reading month, quantity or quality. Like, this was really good. This was meh. This was meh because of the twist. I'm hoping March will be better because I have high hopes, and I've already posted my TBR, so if you're interested in checking that out, make sure to do so. I'll link it down below. There are a bunch of good books on that TBR, so I'm hoping it'll be good. I am busy with school, but reading will be a nice break from school. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts on them were. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and give it a big thumbs up. Both those would mean the absolute world to me. My Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, and Amazon wishlist will be linked in the description box below if you're interested in checking any of those out. Again, comment down below your thoughts on the books that I read, and also let me know what you read in February. Turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!